Matthew, what's going on, dude? We're
What-
live.
What's up, man? Glad to be
Happy
here.
Happy June. Happy June.
Happy June 1st. Let's go.
How you feeling about the last month?
Last month was good. So April I pushed super hard on the sales marketing side. May was all about building capacity. And so I spent most of the month just trying to find and hire some great writers. I brought two on board. Have another few who are very interested in doing some part-time work. In other words, I've got a ton of capacity now, and the new bottleneck is generating more leads and closing more deals. So I'm really
Time to
excited
fill that
about it.
capacity.
Yes, and so June will be pushing hard on the marketing side. How about you? How did everything go in May?
May was a fun, challenging but also fun month. It was my first month back in the saddle and kind of running the business while also fixing all my parenting skill issues and like learning how to not kill a baby. But it's been fun. Yeah, it's been fun. We had our second best month of the year, so feeling pretty good about that, despite the kind of navigating all those new situations and constraints. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be in a similar spot as you soon, where I think the only nuance is that my agency right now is slightly less predictable, just because we don't have as many retainer clients as you, because we also do one-off
Yeah.
projects. And so I think my goal this month is to build more of those retain or get more of those retainers, so we have more predictability, which will then allow me to feel more comfortable, like making some new hires that then increase capacity.
Yes, makes it feel way less risky if you know that your guaranteed retainer clients will cover the new hires. And then if you have one-off spikes or something, like that's better. But you're just playing with the profit number. You're not playing with, potentially going negative.
Exactly. Yeah, especially because so far my hires have been kind of project based. Basically, as we get clients, we assign them to writers, and then they get a percentage of the amount that we're charging. And so that one reduces a lot of the risk. Like, we don't have any full-time writers. But the next position that I'm potentially looking to hire for would be a full-time position. And so that's, I think, why I'm kind of looking to that this next month.
Nice, man. That's exciting.
Well, that was a rambly way of saying that June or May was good. I'm excited
It's good.
about June. And then, I mean, we have some good tactics. Should we dive in? I think both of the, or most of the tactics that we have for today kind of are somewhat related to the things that we're doing in our businesses.
Yeah, let's dive in. And last thing on that was, dude, it feels so good to like know what your bottleneck is and actually like cross it off. Like I crossed off we hit capacity, we raised prices, and the demand side, we crossed that off, and now we had a new bottleneck, and we just crossed it off as well. And so it feels good to like see the bottleneck and actually, instead of having the same bottleneck for forever, just, actually solve for it. But yeah, let's dive into some tactics. Was there anything you wanted to add to that? Looks like you were about to say something.
I was just gonna say that that's also the nice thing about the kind of business that we run, which is it's not rocket science. We're not trying to launch rockets into orbit, or do anything revolutionary. We just want to build an agency.
Yes, exactly. Cool. Well, why don't I'll kick it off just with this super short one. I'm going to share my screen right here. So this was a interesting tactic where basically for these text-based platforms, one way to increase the views that you get on any video style posts is you just add captions. Simple as that. But on Twitter, LinkedIn, Threads, Substack, people are going there to read, not necessarily to watch videos. And so they often scroll with their mute button off. If you just add captions, more people are going to watch it, or at least they're going to watch it for longer. And I thought that was just like the easiest tactic to essentially boost your view count. In terms of adding captions, I think there's a million different tools that do it. I haven't experimented. Like I don't personally, I'm not exactly sure what tools work there. Do you know any that you've used before?
I know there is a couple one. There's one that I forget the name actually. Yeah, never mind. Video clearly video isn't our thing.
Yeah.
But as you said, there's like a bunch of them that, especially now with AI, that are pretty good and pretty smart. I was gonna ask you though, like, do you think there is anything? And I do have some ideas that came to mind, but do you think there is anything similar that you can do when you're creating pure text based content?
To increase views?
Like, I'll give you an example that came to mind. Like, I feel like there's a lot of, say you're writing a long form LinkedIn post, as even though you can share the LinkedIn post by itself or with an image, I feel like you could also share the same LinkedIn post without trimming it, but also having the carousel version attached to the post. And that is kind of giving people two different ways to consume it. You know, like I don't feel like it's like a one-on-one translation to what you were just describing, but it's kind of similar where you're optimizing for different, types of consuming the content or different ways of consuming the content.
Did I understand it correctly? So basically, you use the same post, you just switch the media, and one is a pure text based, another has a carousel attached, another has a video attached.
I think so. I think because what I see a lot is people when they do carousels on either platform, they typically don't share the content itself in the, like, where you can do the caption or the actual content part, and there's like a headline and then they have the carousel. Whereas I feel like there is also something to be said about like actually sharing the entire, like on LinkedIn is a perfect example, right? Like you can share the entire post in the actual post, and then also use the carousel as a alternative way for people to consume the content if they want like the more visual way of consuming it. Does that make sense?
I did not understand. To be honest, I'm lost. I'm totally lost.
I think we can move on. But I think the idea is a lot of people do like LinkedIn posts, right? So you have a LinkedIn post, the
let's just call the text the captions, and then the media
correct,
the media, right?
the attachment. Yes. So a lot of people do in the caption, they just do like literally a caption, like a sentence or a hook.
Yes.
And then there's just the carousel attached to it. I'm saying you can potentially also do like the entire post in the caption box.
Yeah.
Like, so it's full text. And then in addition to that, also attach the carousel that has like a more visual, different way of consuming the content.
Just, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Or if it's a 60-second video, you could have the entire text, like the dialogue of the video.
Correct, the transcript.
And then separately have the video if you want to listen to it. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
And I do think a lot of people make the mistake on LinkedIn, especially, of posting a video without any type of text or like one line of text, where LinkedIn's a text first platform. And so if you have I always think of the media as the secondary thing and the text based post as the primary.
Yeah. And I think if we go back, so the kind of the idea behind the tip that you were sharing is like, how can you optimize what you're sharing based on the way that people consume their content, right?
Yes.
And so I think a related tactic there, and this is actually a Hormozy thing, but like, how can you also share the same thing in different mediums to optimize for the different styles that people have of consuming their content,
Yes. If you have a book, you should have an audiobook, you should have a Kindle-based book, you should have a physical book. And Hormozy says he gets a 25% split into the 4 different formats. And so people, just make it, you're doing the hard work of creating good content, like make it easy to consume, right?
Yeah, exactly. And luckily that finally came across. But yeah, there was, and you could see the point that I was trying to make.
Yes, I can. Amazing. What's next?
Cool. I'll dig into one that I think it's kind of related. So, and actually, this is a thing that I've been working on, and I'm currently still building it. And I've shared some bits and pieces with you already, but I'm curious to hear your take live as I kind of break it down. So, for those who don't know, I have a newsletter. I currently use and have always used for my newsletter a platform called ConvertKit. I love it for a variety of reasons that I'm not going to dig into. But one of the things that I don't love about ConvertKit is that they don't have a great, I don't even know how to call it, but like a great archive feature where they do have it, but doesn't look great. It's not very like optimized, but they don't have a great way for you to like store all the different emails and newsletters that you're creating and sending to your email list in a page that looks almost like a blog post or like an archive, not a blog post, but like a blog or an archive that people can just visit and consume all of your content in one place. And so and actually we kind of briefly talked about this in the last episode, but for anyone curious, you can go and rewatch that one. But so I've been wondering, okay, so I'm writing all these emails. They're super valuable. They're super helpful. I get replies every time from people saying they love them. But I feel like I'm kind of on this treadmill where I'm not getting the full value from them just because I'm just sending them and that's it. Sure, I can post them again as LinkedIn post or like other things, but like I feel like there could be more. I could be extracting more value from that content, and so the thing that I've been working on is I decided to create a new Substack publication where the entire goal is to basically use that Substack publication as a public archive of all the value emails that I'm creating. Obviously, any like promotional or like sales emails that I send to my list, I'm not going to send them there. I'm only going to send like the pure value newsletters. And the rationale, by the way, for using Substack, because I can already hear some people say, well, but Beehive does that. And you could, instead of having ConvertKit and Substack, you could do all of it within the same platform like Beehive, on a platform like Beehive. And I think the reason why this specific setup, I find it so interesting is because Substack is very unique in that your newsletter archive, by being on Substack, also gets discoverability because Substack has become essentially a social platform, and they have like the social feed and all of this good stuff. And I do think, and just to be clear too, my goal isn't to necessarily send emails to those subscribers that I get from Substack. It's more so like publishing the content that I'm sending from ConvertKit and kind of compiling and storing all of that content in there so people can find it. But yeah, I think I broke it down. I don't know if I missed anything or there was anything that wasn't clear, but curious to hear your take. Curious if you think it's a stupid idea, good idea, decent idea, any downsides that you see?
Yeah. So let me just make it even more clear. I'll just share kind of what it looks like. So on Kit, this is kind of what it looks like.
Yep.
So you can choose which ones you want to share, whatever. So I only share like a specific number of emails. On Substack, this is what it looks like if we go to one of Daniel's publications. So I would say it looks cleaner. I mean, some similarities, but it looks cleaner. But what you're talking about is, sure, this looks decent on Substack. Beehive has a nice one as well, and you could kind of design the website a little bit. But what's really valuable is this, which is you did a post today that was a value post, and instead of just sending it to your list on Kit, you also uploaded it here. You didn't send a separate email. You just basically let people know, hey, I have this other publication. And then people can come in here and they could see that latest email, and it's helping you find new people. Is that right?
Yes. And so that's one. So I'm trying to solve for a couple different problems. First, I want to be able to have a link that I can share on social that I can send to people that I can, when I'm on a podcast, I can also like, give away and be like, do you want to find all my tactics in one place? Go here. And that's the and to your point,
and you could do that on
probably
Kit, Substack, or Beehive, right? That part.
Correct. I think the interesting part is how can you do that while also benefit from discoverability? And I think that's why I ultimately went with Substack. Because as you said, right, like every time I post one of those newsletters to my newsletter archive on Substack, now it shows up on my profile. I have a bunch of different things that I could do with that post in terms of reposting it, reshare snippets that then keep sending traffic to that same post that I made and published once.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I see zero downsides other than you have to go and hit publish on another platform, but very very easy to do that. Um, so just diving even a layer deeper, I think your whole ecosystem that you're creating around your content is really interesting. So last week you sent me a message and you're like, "Hey, I'm thinking of switching my email brand basically from I can't remember what it was called before, but now it's Daily Email Tactics."
Yep.
And your email is going to be the pillar content that's going to inform your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your Substack, everything else. And you just had a lot of ways where it's super cohesive. Do you want to just like give the 30-second summary on how it all ties together?
Yeah. So the way like to start, I think the kind of the anchor that I came up with was this mini deep dive format where I just share a tactic, because I love tactics. They're super actionable. I love uh, being able to give something to people that they can read and they can walk away with it and like, or with a tool, and then they implement it and they make more money. So that was kind of the first step. I rebranded, as you say, the newsletter to this new, so it's congruent with this new format. The newsletter, it's now called Daily Email Tactics. The name is also extremely clear. So every weekday, you get a new email tactic to either grow or profit from your email list. Now, back to my point from before, I've been writing all these newsletters, and even though there is some, I don't even want to say a flywheel, but there is definitely some like repurposing and like cross-pollination between my social content and my newsletter content. It felt a little bit disjointed over the past couple of months. And so I've been really thinking a lot about how can I make it where it's all very like, it's all very, it all works in unison, in harmony,
Yeah.
And the
The
solution that I came
flywheel.
with was, okay, yeah, I guess I think a flywheel in this case would be the right term. But yeah, so I have the daily email. Then in addition to sending that email to my list every morning, then it's going to the Substack archive where people can find it, and that's going to start to compound and grow. From there, every single tactic, because it's short, can be repurposed into a variety of different things. From a LinkedIn post that's just text to a LinkedIn post that's like text plus image, or LinkedIn post with text and carousel. Same, and basically that same thing. You can also do it on X. You can also do it on Substack notes too. And then lastly, you can see how from every one of those medium form emails where I break down a tactic, you can also extract a handful of very short form notes or tweets that then can kind of communicate the short version of the idea.
Yeah. What I really like about that is it's very easy to treat each platform as kind of its disjointed, disparate
Mm-hmm.
platform. I'm going to go create my X content. Then separately, I'm going to go create
Mm-hmm.
my LinkedIn content. Separately, I'm going to go create my email content. In your case, it's now, how can I just focus on creating great emails and then have a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
systems in place, your content assistant, who can say, let's turn those emails into all of these different formats in high performing ways for each platform. And maybe that still takes you some time, but instead of, spending 2 hours per platform, maybe it's you just spend more time on the emails and then it's 20 minutes per platform and you can get the same results.
And to your point too, like what it also allows is, even if we're spending the same amount of time, it allows us, or it allows me specifically to spend less time on it and get more labor leverage, because
Yeah.
the kind of the central source of truth piece is already created. Now we just have to like find creative ways to share the same thing in different formats.
And the highest leverage pieces of content in order, in my opinion, are first the idea. It's like the angle and the idea that you're coming from. After that, the hook. After that, probably the formatting and readability. And I mean, media is kind of included in the hook. But if you're spending more time on the idea front and the hooks, like that's the most valuable thing that you could do to improve the content, make it better as well.
Yeah. The other thing that I actually forgot to mention as I was breaking that down that I think could be interesting for people is, as I thought about the format, I also thought of something that could be somehow turning into a lead magnet, right? And so like, for example, I'm sharing again daily email tactics. So you can also see as, in addition to sharing each tactic as a newsletter, and in addition to repurposing each of those newsletters into a bunch of social content with different formats, I can also start to create ever-growing databases where, like, for example, I can have a database of all my monetization-related tactics. I can have a database with all my growth-related tactics. And then you can also combine those two. And you see, like, I feel like there's a lot of, when you find that, in my case, it's tactics, when you find that specific thing that you can share a lot of over and over again without like losing that variety, I feel like there is something like a big unlock there.
Yeah. It's an asset, right? Like it's basically a database where people could just go down to your library of content. Probably like it tends to lean towards being very optimized for SEO and like like AI search engines as well. Yeah, dude, super interesting. I'm thinking about, like, I definitely have some synergies between the platforms that I'm doing, but I really like how you're doing that, and it'll be interesting to see, like, I mean, if you add another platform like YouTube, you could do a YouTube video just covering the 5 tactics for the week, and then you choose whichever tactic's the most juicy as the headline, right? Like, there's just a lot of synergies there, and I really like it.
I like it. Yeah, that's a great idea. But yeah, I'll report. I'm very interested to see how the Substack aspect goes, and I think I'll report back once I have more data on it.
Dope, dude. Well, so we got a few interesting things. You're trying some cool stuff with outreach, and I'm trying a new marketing channel soon. Which one should we talk about first?
I think we should do both, but I'll let you go first.
All right. So I am going to start running paid ads. Today's my first day like working on it, but Daniel and I, we decided to do 100-day. We're doing the rule of 100 Hormozi challenge. In my case, that is 100 minutes every day that I'm spending on paid advertising. And so I'll keep doing my content on top of this, maybe a tiny bit of outreach, but the primary focus is going to be paid ads for the next 100 days. And there's a lot of pieces to getting ads to work. And so it's like you need to not only get booked calls, but you need to close them as well. And so getting all of the pieces together is it's hefty. Like I basically just compiled a checklist of all the things I need to do to before I can make them profitable. And there's quite a few things. Maybe I could go so many different ways with this. So I'll say high level. I sent you a message, but there's kind of like the info ads for like education and info tend to be lots of different funnels, maybe lower ticket, and you try to get them in the funnel, and then over time it becomes really profitable. You have 5 different places they're coming in. With done for you services where they are 100% done for you, it makes a lot of sense to have a direct to call, like book a call funnel. Which is what I'm going to be setting up. And so for that, I need like my offer page completed. I need a VSL on that. I need to have all the like embedded tech. So calendar, some type of calendar or Typeform connected, automated reminders, a pre-call document that helps, convert people after they book, a confirmation page, because you need people after they go through the sales page, they need to hit a second page that has a pixel so you can see if they actually, booked a call. And then you have to go add creatives and, all of that stuff too. So it's a lot. I'll show you what I have right now. Maybe you could give me I'll just give the high level here. If this is super boring, just like actually let me know, because I don't care.
If it's super boring, yeah, then and you're listening, you're the wrong person. You're in the wrong place.
Yeah. All right. So this is the page. I have this built on Webflow. Webflow's so annoying. Webflow's like,
it is, dude. I hate Webflow. Yes,
but it's already set up. So like, I think I'm just going to stick with it. So I have the sales page mostly done. Headline is, we'll use our deal flow system to turn LinkedIn into your biggest pipeline driver. Subheadline in just 2 hours per month of your time. And then the call to action is apply for LinkedIn deal flow. I have a VSL. I'm actually going to redo it because I think it sucks. And then we have like our process here. We have why most LinkedIn playbooks fail. I'm calling out some problems, some results, a bunch of case studies, testimonials, and then FAQs. So this is the page. I need to like embed the pixel or whatever. I think most of it's good to go, but I need to just redo the VSL and that pixel. The confirmation page, I still need to build. Right now, this goes to Typeform that asks six questions or so. And then if they are above 1 million a year, they get pushed to my Calendly. It takes the first name and email and it pipes that into Calendly. I could not get it to the phone number to go through to Calendly. So they have to enter their phone number a second time, which is a hassle.
Are you using a redirect to Calendly or do you have it embedded in the Typeform itself?
It is a redirect.
Okay, so that's a little pro tip. I don't know, like I don't have exact numbers from our own stuff on this, but I think I've heard Jeremy Haynes say that this could have like a 5x increase in throughput or whatever. But the yes, like it's pretty meaningful. So basically the upgrade is Typeform has a direct integration with Calendly where you can have a Calendly booking widget within the Typeform without the redirect. And you could see how, like in your case, you have logic, right? Like you want only the people who are making at least 1 million per year to be able to book. And so you can have logic and still have the Typeform, or not the Typeform, the Calendly within the Typeform such that you just kill the redirect. And I think it might seem like a small thing, but like it's easy to forget too that a lot of times people are just scrolling and kind of going through these funnels like on their phone, oftentimes in a place where there might be no Wi-Fi or there might be no like the best reception. And so those little seconds of loading time that you get rid of by getting rid of the redirect can be very valuable.
So yeah, it looks like it is a redirect to URL.
Yeah. If you do add content, just to show you real quick, there's like a black button. Yeah, there should be a Calendly
directly.
If you do, yeah,
a scheduler.
Maybe I think if you do browse all apps. Well, we're getting into weeds, which is good. But yeah, that's a little.
Sharing. Let's see, Calendly.
Yeah, all good.
So I thought that.
That's very weird,
there, Daniel.
Maybe it's because of maybe it's your pay plan, because I know they've been changing their tiers.
I have I pay like $130 a month or something for Typeform, so I'm pretty sure I should have access to it if it's there. Anyway, we probably don't need to dig into this too much right now, but
that's a little pro tip.
Yeah, and I'm gonna, because it's the only thing they have to re-enter. I asked 6 questions of the Typeform. The only thing they have to re-enter is their phone number. I'm just gonna let them re-enter it. I don't think anyone who was going to book is not going to, like, I don't know. We'll see. If there's a big drop off, I'll watch for it and I'll figure out the tech back end. But for now, that's what I'm going with. Yeah, dude. So I'm gonna try and get ads launched this week. I got the business manager set up, tied to my Instagram and Facebook account today. Yeah, so I'm excited. Any questions or anything you wanted to dig into?
No, this is great. I'm excited for you to learn. Yeah, this is something that I'll eventually. I'm excited too, because I'm eventually will probably do something along these lines for Velocity, for our agency. Not there yet, but let's see. I was trying to. I had a couple ideas or nuggets for you, based on like all the different things that we have tried for PGA. But I think, and I know you have like your guy and your kind of your checklist that you're going through. But if you aren't already, I think having an additional pixel or like conversion event for the people who are within that KPI of like over 1 million per year could be interesting, because then you have essentially data, or you're sending back data to Facebook that it should optimize for this kind of person, and so it makes Meta's lives easier to find those people that you're looking for. So that would be one. I Are you planning on sending like any like if someone starts the application and they don't complete it, do you have like any emails to follow up with them?
I've got for those who book, I have like I actually just lowered the word count on all of these emails
Nice.
to 75. I've got a ton of emails, so I'm going hard on that.
I
Uh,
love it.
but no, right now I don't have a type form to like if they don't complete the type form, I don't have anything. That's probably worth setting up
Yeah,
though too.
that is a because you're being smart about it and you're asking for email or like either I think you're asking for that info like upfront, right?
Yeah,
The email
yeah,
and their yeah. So if you have that information and you do have the partial submit, which is good,
yep,
you can set up a simple sequence for anyone who starts the application who doesn't also finish it.
yeah. Yeah, man. So I'm also going to run my warm traffic. I think to the same page and everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll see how things go. I'll keep you posted.
Are you only going to do direct to call, or are you also going to try like something like add to lead magnet or add to newsletter?
I'm going to go direct to call. Just simplify it. I'll set up like some re-engagement retargeting campaigns as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's just going to be one funnel. I'm just going to keep it simple.
I like it. Cool. Well, we'll have to do another episode later on like learning tactics, all of the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I've just been 100% organic marketing for the last like 4 years. So this will be fun.
It's good too because you have a lot of ammunition in terms of like content, like all of those emails that you've had prepped. It's because I'm sure content you've created, also calls that you have had with people who booked because of your organic content, and so it's. I feel like it's much easier to start doing paid once you have a pretty solid like organic foundation.
Yeah. And I've been posting on Instagram and Facebook for the last like 3 months, even though they're not my main channel.
Well, hold on,
But
hold on.
it's going to
You
help.
just, you just said you just sent me today clip that went semi-viral for your standards. Like you like first off, shout out, and second, we need to talk about that. How that happened.
Yeah, I had a reel that got 22,000 views. Took me from 40 followers to 161, baby.
Dude, that's a 4x.
Yeah, it's a 4x in one post. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually like just getting started with Instagram, and I think the real value is going to come from like the ads, but having the content there is just going to help with conversion, showing I'm legit, all of those things.
Yep. Are you posting there like every day?
Yeah, I'm posting it at least twice a day. And yeah, dude, it's fun. I'm like really excited about it. There's also cool stuff you could do, like you can boost the posts, and then you
Mm-mm.
could run retargeting ads to people who hit your page. And so, like, there's a ton of leverage if you can just do a good job with the content too.
The other thing is, I just find ManyChat so fascinating, but like, and I hate the fact that LinkedIn is just against all these tools. But like, one of my newsletters for the week actually is about welcome DMs, which is something that we have both implemented on LinkedIn, but it's all manual, right? And so like one of the things that I find so attractive about Instagram is that with a tool like ManyChat, you can automate all these things. And like I think if you haven't already, like that might be, imagine so today, right? Like you gain 120 new followers. Imagine you send all of them a welcome DM, inviting them to check out your newsletter, and I don't know, maybe 30% of them actually take you up on it. That's that's as you grow, that definitely compounds and adds up.
Yeah, I don't have many chat set up yet because even that like well, most people use it for they'll say comment
Big
X and
comment.
you'll get
Mhm.
Y. Does it have a welcome DM feature?
I'm pretty sure it should. If it doesn't, it like that would be disappointing. But like, I feel like it should. You should be able to do that.
Yeah, welcome message. It looks like they do have that actually.
You see?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really interesting. That I know Instagram subscribers tend to be lower value, like Instagram email subscribers, but I mean, still some value there.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm pretty sure we both have crying babies in the background. That's hilarious.
We do. For a second, I was like, "Is that my baby or is that Matthew's baby?"
Yeah.
And we have the same shirt today.
Dad gang.
Yeah.
Dad gang.
Yeah.
We're full dad mode now. Look at us.
Yes. Should I dig into the next one?
Yeah, let's dig in.
Cool. So you kind of teased it, but yeah, we're doing this Hormozy challenge. You're gonna spend 100 minutes per day on paid acquisition related activities. I'm gonna do the same, but instead of paid acquisition, I'm gonna be doing outbound and outreach related stuff. This was all after not, I was gonna say painful, but like just humbling realization last month that, as much as even when you have an email list, even when you have a certain degree of traffic and like organic presence, outreach still faster, and like it's a very simple, reliable, straightforward way to like grow your business at will, essentially, and so
predictable.
last month, so predictable. Yeah. And so it's like a numbers game. And so last month I started doing outreach again. I've never been a big fan of just low quality, high volume outreach. And so I spent some time thinking about how I wanted to do my outreach. And I came up with this kind of workflow that's been very interesting. And it's already kind of proven, or at least gotten me some signal. Because one of I've done like 7 or 8 of what I'm about to describe. And one of those people responded immediately to my email. And within like less than 48 hours, they became a $7,500 retainer, which is pretty awesome.
A retainer,
pretty. Yeah. So because that's the other nice thing about outreach, which is you have full control over the targeting. With content, sure, you can kind of optimize certain elements of your messaging and stuff, and like try to attract specific people. But like with outreach, you have full control over who you're reaching out to. But yeah, anyway, so the idea is, again, if I'm trying to avoid the low quality, high volume game, and I'm trying to do the opposite, the question that I kind of ran into was, okay, given that I now have AI and all these amazing tools are available, how can I create like world-class outreach where I'm clearly delivering value up front and showing that I know what I'm talking about, while also making that as efficient as I can? And so I came up with this workflow where I have a list of people that I think could be great clients, and I could really help them grow their business. They all have some kind of similar problem. Like, for example, a lot of them have like some kind of membership or school group, for example, that they're sending their social traffic to directly without any email layers in between. And that always signals to me like opportunity to like capture email subscribers and then, retarget those people with emails. And so I found all of those people. They all fit certain criteria. They all have a very similar problem. And so what I started doing was essentially creating a demo of what their newsletter or what their lead magnet could actually look like, right? And so for each of those people, I did some research. I understood their offer. I understood kind of what they're selling. Then based on that, I mocked up a newsletter with like I didn't just come up with like the newsletter name. I actually came up with the newsletter, the value proposition. Then I created a sick landing page using Lovable that you can actually go to. It's live. You check it out. And then on the landing page, I would add these like digital sticky notes that you can click on. And when you click on the sticky note, it would send you to a thank you page that then it was basically like a sales page explaining why I had created the mockup in the first place, and why I thought email was a great opportunity for them, and how I would go about doing email if I were helping them, essentially. Kind of
so is
laying
it
out
like
that.
Do you have a Loom video on there, or is it like just a page explaining?
It's literally like a text-based mini sales page, like you can think of it.
So you're basically creating you're doing the legwork of here's what your newsletter would look like. Here's what your lead magnet would look like. Here's a landing page for the lead magnet. And and here's why all of that makes sense in this small personalized sales page. You're doing
Correct.
that for every person you do outreach for.
Correct. And so I send them an email, very short email. I like this framework that it's like personalized. I'm gonna butcher it, but it's personalized, problem, solution, or pitch, right? So you open with a personalized thing, showing that you actually did your homework. Then you immediately point out a problem, and then you immediately like tease a solution. In my case, the actual mock-up of the landing page.
I love it.
So,
and I'm sure you've got
go
some good systems on the back end to make it a little bit faster instead of
so
building that
all of
manually,
this,
right?
Correct. So all of this I'm doing with a series of Claude skills. So I have Claude skills for each of those steps. So every time I'm gonna reach out to one of these people, I open up a new Claude conversation. I have like a skill that starts the whole process, and I go, okay, let's create a newsletter or a lead magnet pitch for this person. And then Claude helps me do the research. We understand their offer. Then together we workshop what the newsletter should be about. Then once we have that locked in, we create a landing page. Then also Claude helps me create a prompt to then build the landing page using Lovable. We build that. We build the thank you page, which is the kind of the personalized sales page. Then we draft the call email, and then we send it. And for context, like it sounds like a lot, and it can be a lot. But I've gotten to a point where even with distractions, even like with the baby screaming or having to like, context switch here and there, I can do one of those in like 60 to 90 minutes, which I think is pretty efficient.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice, dude. So how many have you sent so far?
I think I've sent 8.
And how many of those have responded?
I think it's been 3 already. So that's like 30% response rate. One of them immediately booked the call. And then the next day when we had the call, they became a client.
Closed.
But yeah, and I still like the second part that I need to dial in and figure out is the follow-ups, because obviously that's where the money is. Yeah. And so as I send more of those, I also need to have like certain systems in place where, and you can see how like in that same chat that I created all
email,
of the...
hit them on LinkedIn, hit them on Twitter, hit them on Instagram, like all of the places because they might have missed some of them.
Yeah, and the other thing that I didn't touch on
in public and like post about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the workflow that I've been experimenting and testing these past couple of weeks. After seeing that signal, definitely want to double down on it, and that's gonna be kind of a big, if not my main focus, this upcoming month.
Nice, man. That's exciting. Yeah, I'm curious to see like just because 8 is still such a small sample size. I'm curious after you do like 50, what the response rate looks like, how many book calls and how many close, because you're using AI so much for that, and it's way more effort than most people are willing to put into it. And so I think there's a high likelihood that it works out pretty well.
Yeah, that's the goal, and that's also the nice thing about having a high ticket offer, which is like you don't need 20 people to close. I just need like 10.
Yeah, and if you send 10 of those and you can get one client predictably from sending 10, it's like, okay, it takes 60 minutes per. That's 10 hours to get one client at $7,500 a month, and that starts stacking pretty fast.
And the other thing is, that's assuming that I cannot get even more efficient and reduce, go from 60 minutes to 20, or even delegate it, And so that's the other kind of high leverage part.
Yeah. Sweet, man. Well, we're both on day 1 today. So
yes.
I've got my 100 minutes in, working on a bunch of those things I was showing you. You got your 100, or I guess, you're doing kind of one a day or follow up, right?
Yeah, like for example, and like maybe you tell me if I'm cheating, but like today I spent my 100 minutes mapping out I want to do the same workflow or a very similar workflow, but with a different offer. So for example, instead of pitching a newsletter retainer on the front end, pitching a more seasonal offer. Like, for example, it's about to be Prime Day in a couple of weeks. And so like something along those lines. And so I spent this morning kind of mapping out the variation of this workflow for this new seasonal offer.
That for sure counts. Yeah, that for sure counts. I mean, I didn't run any paid ads. I haven't created the ads. Yeah. I'm just working on the infrastructure I need. All of that counts.
Yep.
Sweet, man.
Dope.
Well, that's some good stuff. We're both launching some new marketing channels, and probably by July or at least beginning of August, we'll have really I'm not expecting ads to work right off the bat. Like I'm expecting to burn $20,000 before I close customers. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Any other tactics, things top of mind as we wrap it up?
I don't think so. I think that's we got some good stuff covered today.
Cool. Well, that's the pod.
All right. Peace.
Bang.